while I'm speaking rather than looking at my face all the time or looking down. I guess you're not using this camera to it. Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all our mothers. I would like to thank those of you here for attending the May monthly service here at Pearl Church. And thank you to those of you at home or wherever who have performed the service in unity of mind, either on your own or by joining us on Facebook live streaming. And thank you to you all for your kind and sincere offerings. I'm sure God the Parent and Moya-sama is really happy to see you here today and to have joined in the service with joy and in high spirits. Thank you very much. The title of today's sermon is Now is the Time to Extend Our Helping Hand to Those in Need. Well, it's always the time to help those in need, but the title of today's sermon is this, Now is the Time to Extend the Helping Hand. But before we start, I just want to go over the definition of hinokshin and tenrikyo, because we're going to come across this again later on in the sermon. In the doctrine of Tenrikyo, you read this definition: as our perception of the divine blessings in every event grows keener day by day, our gratitude to God the Parent comes to be expressed in our attitude and our actions without expecting anything in return. This is taught by God the Parent as hinokishi. The definition of hinokshin and tenrikyo. Vaccination qualifications in the United States are now extended to those 16 years and older. At present, about half of all adults in the United States are now vaccinated. People are becoming less tense and nervous and starting to venture out into the public. Restaurants and other businesses are starting to open. Since the pandemic started, many of our church activities have been canceled, and we had to limit the number of people attending our church services even now. People are instructed to avoid crowds and meeting people in close proximity. So salvation work was restricted in a big way. At this time, the church headquarters director of administrative affairs, Reverend Zensuke Nakata, made a formal announcement that expressed his point of view. I would like to share that with you today. This world is experiencing confusion because of this pandemic. At present, several coronavirus variants are spreading around the world, which are more active and more contagious than the original. There is worry that the current vaccinations might be ineffective against the new variants. Reverend Nakata continued, this is nothing but the working of God the Parent. Let's all of us look back at the history of our respective personal faith, reflect on it, and see how our faith may have strayed from the original teachings. Are we advancing forward? Are we going sideways or backwards? Let's start anew with an even stronger faith. As a goal for our faith, looking toward the 150th anniversary of Oya-sama, which is 15 years from now, let us discuss with members and family about how we can volunteer our time in the community. In the olden days, people studied and practiced the teachings to solve their problems and relied on God's help. Presently in society, we can receive various social welfare services such as counseling, medical insurance, and shelter and housing. Let us join hands with the social services in helping the people in the community and make connections with those suffering from their circumstances. It's not easy to talk to people we meet for the first time, but through meeting people in our volunteer work, we can develop relationships and gain people's trust. Reverend Nakata continued, sometimes I hear that volunteering and hinokishin are two different things. But I think we can incorporate hinokishin with volunteering. In the doctrine of Tenrikyo, we read in chapter 8, as I mentioned at the beginning of our sermon. Why don't we be together? As our perception of the divine blessings in every event grows keener day by day, our gratitude to God the Parent comes to be expressed in our attitude and our actions without expecting anything in return. This is taught by God the Parent as hinokishin. It is with this spirit of hinokishin that I would like all of us to engage in volunteering in the community, sparing no effort in expressing our sincerity. This is a message from Reverend Nakata. From Pearl Church, we have been doing volunteer work in the community for many years. I would like to share what we have done up until now. My wife Taiko has been doing hospital volunteer work for about 5 years as an arts and crafts teacher at Queens Medical Center at the Hawaii State Hospital. 2, I've been doing blood donation for 24 years. I've stopped now because it's affecting me physically, and that's a good way. But I've donated a total of 101 times, so 101 pints. And 3, some of you may remember in 2001 we took care of a therapeutic foster child for 7 months. Number 4, we were doing yard work for the elderly and disabled in the Palolo area for 10 years. Presently, due to age, I have discontinued the service. and 5 I've been serving on the Jarrett Middle School Foundation, the board of directors, since 2009, about 12 years now. It's the middle school where me and my siblings and also my children attended. The foundation activities have given us opportunities to help in fundraising activities such as the annual dinner and the Pride Day. The funds help support student programs, equipment and supplies, and band instruments. I'm still continuing to serve on the board, and I thank all of you for your support in helping to conduct the fundraising activities. Now, these are all opportunities to connect with the people in the community. However, social welfare programs are aimed to help people with housing, food, and employment, which will help them attain an independent life. The difference between us and social welfare workers is that our aim is to save people's hearts by prayer, sweeping away our mental dust, realizing our indent or causation, and accumulate virtue by doing good deeds. I would like to ask all of you to brainstorm after the sermon today about what is possible for us to reach out to the needy in the community. Please give us your ideas on what we can do. Thank you very much.